At 55, Kelly Ripa remains one of the most recognizable faces on American daytime television. For millions of viewers, she is the woman who appears each morning with effortless energy, quick humor, and a smile that seems capable of surviving anything. She has spent decades making strangers feel as though they are sitting across the kitchen table from an old friend. Yet behind that polished image lies a far more complicated story. One shaped by relentless pressure, private insecurity, painful professional upheaval, and the exhausting expectation that she must always be cheerful, no matter what may be happening away from the cameras. Her life is not tragic in the conventional sense. It is not defined by one catastrophic event. Instead, the heartbreak of Kelly Ripa's journey can be found in the quieter cost of being watched, judged, replaced, underestimated, and required to keep performing through every moment of uncertainty. Kelly Maria Ripa was born on October 2, 1970, in Stratford, New Jersey, and grew up in a working-class family far removed from the glamorous world she would later enter. Her father worked as a bus driver and later became involved in local government, while her mother was a homemaker. Kelly was not raised with industry connections, inherited wealth, or a guaranteed path into entertainment. She was simply a young girl with ambition, discipline, and a growing desire to perform. She studied ballet, played piano, and eventually attended Eastern Regional High School, where a drama teacher encouraged her to pursue acting. That encouragement mattered. In an industry where countless talented people never receive a meaningful opportunity, Kelly's early path depended on the rare combination of preparation, timing, and someone recognizing her potential before the rest of the world did. Her first steps into television were modest. She appeared as a dancer on the local program Dancin' on Air, which later became Dance Party USA. It was not prestigious work, but it introduced her to the demands of appearing on camera. She learned how to move, smile, react quickly, and project confidence even when she may not have felt it. Those skills would eventually become central to her career. Kelly's greatest professional breakthrough came in 1990 when she was cast as Haley Vaughn on the long-running soap opera All My Children. The role transformed her from an aspiring performer into a nationally recognized actress. Haley was rebellious, complicated, and emotionally volatile, giving Kelly the opportunity to demonstrate that she possessed more than a bright personality. She could portray pain, anger, vulnerability, and resilience. The schedule of a daytime soap opera was famously demanding. Actors were expected to memorize large amounts of dialogue, work long hours, and produce emotionally intense scenes at remarkable speed. Kelly remained on All My Children for more than a decade, building a loyal audience and earning industry recognition. It was also on the set of the show that she met Mark Consuelos, the actor cast as Mateo Santos. Their chemistry was immediate both on-screen and off. The couple married in 1996 and eventually welcomed 3 children. From the outside, their relationship seemed like a rare Hollywood success story. 2 attractive young performers meeting at work, falling in love, building a family, and remaining together despite the pressure of fame. But the image of an ideal marriage can itself become another burden. Kelly and Mark have often spoken openly about the work required to sustain their relationship, especially while raising children and pursuing demanding careers. Their marriage became part of Kelly's public identity, which meant that ordinary disagreements or private difficulties could easily become material for headlines. Fame does not allow couples to struggle quietly. Every expression, absence, comment, or joke can be interpreted as evidence of conflict. For Kelly, the challenge was not merely preserving her marriage, it was preserving it while millions of people believed they already understood it. In 2001, Kelly entered a new chapter when she joined Regis Philbin as co-host of Live with Regis and Kelly. It was a remarkable opportunity, but also an intimidating one. Regis was already a television institution. The program had an established audience, rhythm, and identity. Kelly was replacing Kathy Lee Gifford, a beloved host who had occupied the chair for years. She therefore faced immediate comparison and scrutiny. Viewers analyzed her voice, appearance, humor, and chemistry with Regis. Critics questioned whether a soap actress had the experience to carry a live morning program. Kelly had to prove herself in real time without the protection of scripts, second takes, or careful editing. She succeeded because she understood the strange intimacy of daytime television. She was conversational without appearing careless, energetic without seeming artificial, and candid without completely surrendering her privacy. She shared stories about marriage, motherhood, embarrassing moments, and the chaos of everyday life. Her willingness to laugh at herself made her relatable. Yet this relatability required constant emotional labor. Every weekday morning, Kelly had to walk onto a brightly lit set and offer viewers warmth, amusement, and reassurance. She had to be present even when she was exhausted. She had to be funny even when she was anxious. She had to maintain chemistry with co-hosts while navigating complicated relationships behind the scenes. Over time, Kelly became more than Regis Philbin's younger co-host. She became essential to the program's identity, but professional success did not always bring the respect or security she might have expected. Some of the most painful moments of her career would emerge not from public failure, but from decisions made behind closed doors. Decisions that reminded her that even after years of loyalty, rating success, and hard work, she could still be treated as though her voice did not matter. Behind the morning laughter, a deeper struggle was beginning, and Kelly Ripa would soon discover that becoming indispensable did not necessarily mean becoming protected. That painful lesson became impossible to ignore as the program entered one of the most turbulent periods in its history. After Regis Philbin left the show in 2011, Kelly suddenly found herself carrying enormous responsibility. The program had been built around a legendary broadcaster whose personality had defined its tone for decades. His departure created uncertainty, and Kelly was expected to provide stability, while producers searched for a permanent replacement. For months, she worked alongside a rotating series of guest hosts, adapting to different personalities, energies, and styles, while maintaining the illusion that everything was effortless. The audience saw laughter and spontaneity. Behind the scenes, however, Kelly was helping hold together a valuable television franchise during a moment when its future was far from guaranteed. In 2012, Michael Strawn was selected as her permanent co-host. Their pairing quickly became successful. The ratings were strong, their chemistry appeared natural, and the show entered another popular era. To viewers, Kelly and Michael looked like close friends. They joked, teased one another, and shared personal stories with an ease that suggested genuine trust. But television chemistry can hide complicated professional dynamics. A morning show depends on the appearance of intimacy, and audiences often assume that what they see on camera reflects the entire relationship. In reality, co-hosts are also colleagues working within a corporate structure, where contracts, management decisions, and career ambitions can create tension. The most public example came in 2016 when it was announced that Michael Strawn would leave Live to join Good Morning America. The departure itself was not necessarily unusual. Television personalities change jobs, and major networks frequently move talent between programs. What deeply upset Kelly was the way she learned about the decision. According to her later accounts, she was informed shortly before the news became public, despite being the show's longtime host and central figure. After 15 years of loyalty to the program, she felt excluded from a decision that directly affected her work, her reputation, and the future of the show. Kelly did not appear on the program for several days following the announcement. Her absence immediately generated headlines. Some critics accused her of behaving emotionally or unprofessionally. Others treated the conflict as entertainment, reducing a serious workplace dispute to celebrity drama. When Kelly returned, she addressed the situation carefully, speaking about communication, consideration, and respect in the workplace. Her words were controlled, but the hurt behind them was obvious. The incident exposed a painful contradiction in her career. She was valuable enough to carry a nationally syndicated program, but apparently not important enough to be included in major conversations about its direction. For many working women, her experience felt familiar. Success does not always protect someone from being dismissed. Longevity does not automatically produce authority. A person may become the public face of an institution while still being denied influence behind the scenes. Kelly had spent years arriving early, performing live, protecting the program through transitions, and building relationships with viewers. Yet, one of the most consequential decisions involving her professional life had been made without her meaningful participation. The emotional impact was made worse by the public reaction. Kelly was expected to return quickly, smile beside her departing colleague, and prevent the audience from feeling uncomfortable. She had to manage her own disappointment while protecting the network, the show, and the people who had excluded her. This is one of the cruelties of live television. Private pain must often be processed in public. There is no opportunity to disappear for months, rewrite the narrative, or wait until the emotions have settled. The red light turns on, The music begins, and the host must speak. After Strawn's departure, Kelly once again faced the uncertainty of working with temporary co-hosts. She had already survived this process after Regis left, but repeating it meant enduring another period of instability. Every guest appearance became an unofficial audition. Every interaction was examined by viewers, executives, and entertainment reporters. Kelly had to create instant chemistry while knowing that the decision about her next partner would affect the daily atmosphere of her workplace for years. Ryan Seacrest eventually became her permanent co-host in 2017. On the surface, the choice brought stability. Seacrest was experienced, polished, and accustomed to live broadcasting. Their professional partnership lasted several years and gave the show another successful chapter. Yet Kelly's previous experience had permanently changed the way she understood her position. She had learned that stability in television could vanish without warning. A colleague could leave. Executives could make decisions in private. A successful format could be reorganized overnight. The only constant was the expectation that she would continue appearing cheerful. Kelly later became more candid about the unequal treatment she believed she experienced during her early years on the program. She described feeling that she had to fight for basic professional accommodations and respect. These revelations complicated the glamorous image surrounding her career. From the outside, she appeared wealthy, famous, and powerful. Inside the workplace, she sometimes felt marginalized and undervalued. That contrast is central to understanding her story. Privilege and pain can exist at the same time. A person can achieve extraordinary success and still carry the wounds of being repeatedly reminded that others control the structure around them. Through every upheaval, Kelly continued performing. She smiled, laughed, interviewed celebrities, and shared stories about her family. The audience saw consistency. What they could not always see was the discipline required to remain consistent while privately questioning whether years of devotion would ever guarantee genuine security. Security was especially difficult to find in an industry that constantly evaluates women according to age, appearance, and perceived relevance. As Kelly moved through her 40s and into her 50s, the scrutiny surrounding her body and face became increasingly intense. Viewers commented on her weight, clothing, hair, cosmetic choices, and every visible sign of aging. A photograph taken from an unflattering angle could generate articles. A change in makeup could inspire speculation. Even moments that would be ordinary for anyone else became public evidence in a never-ending conversation about whether she looked too thin, too tired, too different, or not different enough. Kelly has often responded with humor, but humor does not make the pressure disappear. Female television hosts are expected to remain familiar while somehow never appearing older. They must evolve without changing too much, look youthful without seeming artificial, and project confidence while strangers publicly examine their bodies. The standards are contradictory and impossible. For Kelly, whose job requires appearing on high-definition television almost every weekday, there is no real escape from the mirror created by public opinion. Her naturally small frame has frequently attracted concern and criticism. Some people have speculated about her health without evidence, while others have attacked her appearance as though her body were public property. Kelly has spoken about exercise, nutrition, and the routines that help her manage her energy, yet even those disclosures can be distorted. Discipline becomes obsession in one headline. Fitness becomes vanity in another. The same audience that expects her to look youthful may condemn the work required to maintain that image. This type of judgment carries a psychological cost.